Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what up?
Smoking cigarettes and shit. Wait, what are you up to? Are you hot? Are you okay? Like overheating hot or? What's up, Nico? What's up, Yappity?
Chad in town?
Huh?
Chad in town officially?
Yeah, he's down the hill though with his dad. He's probably not up this late.
Cold.
Dude, I want to see him in his fucking uniform. Don't you? Do you think he brought it? Of course he did, right?
I don't know.
Oh man. Yeah, I think they're gonna fix that fucking buoy tomorrow.
They're coming by to pump it?
Yeah, or some shit. What'd you say? Oh man. We missed a shit show last night. I just they were drunk.
Huh?
They were just drunk the night before last.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. You're not stroking out on me, are you? You good? So I gotta unload this shit first thing in the morning. I don't even know if I have the gas to do it. We'll see. Yeah, it's gonna suck. I gotta pay for the dump fee too.
Yeah.
Rent's coming up tomorrow, right? Or something. Oh, okay. See ya. Screw bush. You very good. Ooh, chocolate. Is there more? Excellent. Mami chicoy. The king of bling. Airborne digging.
What?
Down. Over. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Tahoe. Following on from the TV series, there was massive interest in the Global Easy Company, and tours were set up to follow in their footsteps. They turned up here, found out that the stables were going to be demolished, so a hasty plan of action was formulated. My father, myself, our two friends, Sam and Tim, we carefully dismantled them. They were shipped up to Bryce Norton, flown over to Tahoe, and yeah, we followed on, the four of us. We carefully put it all back together again, and it now forms a major exhibit in the Currahee Military Museum in Tahoe, Georgia.
For the vast majority of the men of 2nd Battalion, the Nissen huts we're excavating were home, as they waited with mounting impatience to find out where and when they were going to be deployed.
The latrines were second only to the Red Cross hut as a social center where gossip was exchanged. Rumors sprang fully grown from the honey buckets, and that company rifleman might come in with a copy of the Daily Mail, read it, use pages 1 and 2, and pass the remainder to his neighbor, a mortarman from Headquarters Company, along with a rumor that the outfit was going to Italy.
By the end of day 2, we're just beginning to see the Nissen huts emerging, as we try to build up a picture of life in the camp for the American servicemen. 6 days left to see what else the band of brothers left behind for us to find.
If you want us to investigate more sites, you can make it happen. So, help us reach 10,000 members on Patreon.
God, they would make so much money. Their fucking Patreon's expensive, isn't it? It's like $16 a month. Yeah, 10,000. What is that? $1 million bucks?
Now appears to be a motorbike wheel.
Nah.
Now, it may look to you as though we've kept this
Who?
whole field really nice and respectable, lovely, wide-eyed school children.
Wow, she's making a killing.
It's just like a dodgy music festival, isn't it? You've got all these tents and vans. That's the tent belonging to
A dodgy music
Campbell
festival.
Steve. Hello, mate. There's the shower tent. This one belongs to Kerry. And over here, this is the office, hi Karen, and sort of kitchen thing there, but this is the big deal. Matt actually owns this. He must be making a fortune, mustn't he? It's also where we do the sound recording. Hi Matt, you here?
Tony!
Lovely motor.
Thank you. You made it. How are you?
All right.
Richard. Hello, Matt. Morning. Trench 1 is looking great. What's the plan for today then?
Well, I suppose the bottom line is to find our hut, but where Pat's working here, he's got the, can you see the tar paper with the waterproofing layer at the bottom of the huts that we're looking for, the Nissen hut, and it's also with the motorbike wheel. The idea is really to clean this up, get it photographed, and then join them together if we can, and make sure that the tar paper continues along, and then we've really got the outline of our hut in this trench.
Right. And you've had some great finds out here, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. We've had really quite exciting things that link us to exactly what we're looking for, really. So we start off with this sort of prosaic thing, it's an ointment tube, but remember these guys aren't fighting all the time or training all the time. They have their kind of medical conditions that, you know, everyone would have. You put 16 people in a hut, there's a chance of this sort of thing spreading. So one of those. And then we're getting into the soldiers themselves, which is obviously what we want to be finding. And you remember in the first day I was talking about little horseshoes at the bottom of boots that people do bring them in as mule shoes or something, but they're military issue boots, and that's the heel plate of a military boot. So one of those. There probably will be more of these actually. I'd expect to find more. So that's great. But what we really want is to find the Americans.
Right.
And I think this is probably our first really good glimpse of the Americans with a leather strap and a buckle.
We're going to look at that. There's writing
There is writing. What does it say?
Down the bottom there, it's Prov RO, is it?
All right.
And at the top, RAUF.co.
Yeah, so that's the company name, and Provi, Providence, Rhode Island.
Ah, so that's definitely American.
100% Americans. I've heard a case of Americans, and two of these on each boot. So there's all sorts of bits and pieces. Actually, there's another thing that Pat's just found. Let's go from your holding it, Pat. You know what that is?
It did, Richard. So this is the equivalent to the modern day cleaning rod. Attach a string on one end, to run through the barrel. You pull it through and it cleans out the barrel. And I believe it's from the M1 Garand.
It's an American cleaning kit.
It
It's
is.
a rifle, really. So that fits our paratroopers really well. Nice find.
This find gives us a nice link to Forrest Gump, pictured outside this very hut. Guth became the armourer for his comrades and could adapt an M1 rifle to become fully automatic. He adapted his uniform to carry all the equipment he
I'm
needed
not
by
sure.
sewing in extra pockets. On the other side of the field, the teams revealed more policemen.
Okie dokie.
Foundations. There's the here, the one of the back entrance here. We're running along the wall here. I'm running along the wall here.
Have you got any evidence for the floors in here yet?
At the moment, no. We've come down onto sort of like this gravelly clinker. We think it's like a sub base. At the moment, which is in here. We're going. At the moment, we're digging down onto that as the first stage.
So why is this base made of brick and the other one concrete?
So the only reason we can think about at the moment about why there is a difference is that it was done in 2 phases of construction.
Is mommy's just sorry to show
Potentially
mommy's?
this was done in 1, and then the
Good
second
boy,
phase over on the other side.
Good.
It could be that this was done first of all, and that the reason that there isn't the same build is 2 things. 1, lack of
Watch out.
material, and 2, time.
And as if by magic, the first signs of a floor surface.
There you go.
Oh yeah, found a bit of concrete.
Oh, better.
With the flooring. That's quite interesting.
Watch him.
In trench 1, it's time to lift the wheel carefully to try to identify it.
Chocolates.
Wow. Look at that. This is what I love about archaeology. Come to Old Ball, looking for the Nissan huts. We've got the concrete floors, we've got the chairs.
Can I share a spoon drift?
Day 3, we found the motorbike wheel.
The wheel looks very like the ones you find on M1 machine gun carts. And to add to this, a sign was donated to the Heritage Centre, made from a box that stored, you guessed it, M1 machine gun carts. And underneath the wheel is something that takes me back to the dodgy sandwiches from my childhood.
Shippers.
What is that?
Shippers, which
Ship'ems?
could well be for fish or meat paste.
So what we've got for dinner then?
Well, what I thought I'd introduce you to is the K ration, which is what the American soldiers during the Second World War would have got either in the field or on exercise.
It may be used as a waterproof container for matches, cigarettes and other items. Wouldn't say that nowadays, would
No,
it?
it wouldn't.
For security, hide the empty can and wrappers so they can't be seen.
Well, that would be if you go and leave your rubbish all over the place, the enemy's going to know where you've been and where you are.
Yeah, it does make sense, doesn't it? Right,
Yeah.
so let's see what's inside.
Box tissues.
Carries food plots with modern equivalents of the K rations the men would have had to survive on. Oh, a couple of nice fags. Oh, I haven't had a fag for a while.
That's all I get is a couple
Every
cigarettes.
backpack has a packet of cigarettes in it.
This is what? This is sugar, is it?
Sugar, yeah.
Yeah. And this one is instant coffee. Very nice, yeah. Oh, what are these?
Okay, I'll open them for you.
Uh-oh. Crackers. Not the crackers.
There you go.
Lovely. Then chewing gum.
Chewing gum, yep, because you
Oh.
don't have to toothbrush necessarily, you can clean your teeth with gum.
A little bit of cheese. Very nice.
Some high
More
quality.
cheese. And that's my main course.
That is, you have to have pot and cold. That's a ham and egg or spam in there.
Don't open it. Don't open it. Can you imagine what it smells like?
It's not old, it's new stuff that he recreated.
Oh.
Calories do you reckon there are in this little?
I was like, wow.
2,800 calories in all.
Is it gooey? Is it gooey about the gooey situation to the enemies? No, mummish. It's gooey. Over there, gooey.
They're not worked out for a man who's going to be jumping out
Gooey, bubbish.
running around the countryside being shot at. So,
You better go at animal.
whereas today's modern soldier,
You go, bubbish, every job, bubbish.
200 calories in there. So at least you can stay fit. Whereas you're gonna lose weight and lose energy.
Although I have to say that none of the things that are here match what I would like best, which I know they used to have.
What's that?
Lardy cake.
You did have some. It's all gone.
I've just took to the cheese one. Food, drink and house, get it, clearly occupied the minds of the men here. Webster describes KP in the officers' mess at Hightown as pleasure and a privilege, as well as a source of loot for many a squad feast.
Most of all, we liked the easy access to fresh butter, fruit cocktail, and sliced pineapples stored in the cool stone cellar below the kitchen. There was a fist-sized hole in the cellar's window screen, and when none of the cooks were watching, we could slip a can or two through it into the long grass outside, where it remained hidden until quitting time.
Ooh.
Back in Trench 1, and you never know quite what you're going to find when you're looking for a Nissen hut.
Huh, Richard? Ah, what have you got there? I don't know, that seems to have most of the... Now that indicative bits, doesn't it?
It does look like it's been struck with Magnus a lot earlier than our band of brothers.
I don't think they're using flintlocks or anything, are they? So it's got all the bits we need, but well, we'll have a look at that later.
Not sure what you mean, buddy.
I think we've got the edges of the hut.
Yes, let's roll forward a few thousand years.
What does he mean? Does anyone know what the guy's talking about?
There's sort of yellow layer here, and there's a very, very dark band which has got bits of iron. See that there? Yeah. There's a little bit of what I think is going to be tar paper, that black flecking there. And then on this side, you're back to the yellow.
Right, okay, so what is this dark line?
Well, it's a good question. This is where we expected to see the Nissen edges. But I'm looking at this
Awkward.
drainage gallery, the edges of it. It sort of makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's pretty awkward. Yeah. Interesting.
The extent of the hut exposed, and then we put in a sort across it. Let's see if we can have a sense of the hut. I'll wrap that excellent. Thank you, Matt.
It's believed that the huts were originally built by British soldiers stationed here before the US paratroopers arrived.
Yeah, just like that, Richard. I'm not entirely sure the crown is that training course.
I have no idea when they were founded, but it's quite nice. It's a young person's organisation.
Yes,
We've got regular British military here, regular American, and maybe quite an early young person military presence.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good find. So it's our first military badge. That's what's cool.
Cheers.
Nice one. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Nice man.
I don't know if I believe that guy.
Been at war for 5 years when the Americans arrived, and they found a country that not only bore the scars, but was also very different culturally. And to avoid unnecessary friction, the authorities came up with a cunning plan.
Our girl is really going places!
Finally getting close?
Yeah, I'm tracking her right. Introducing Uber Teen accounts. Add your teen today. Inside Out 2. Now
Wait,
running, ready to
that driver had a 4.95. Did you see that?
Sweet, but not too sweet.
Just add crayon.
Just add crayon.
Raisins are the perfect balance of sweet and tart.
3. I want 3.
So, you've hit a bit of a rough patch with your credit score. VIP Credit Solutions can help to raise that score. If you found the perfect home, but your credit score fell a little short, VIP Credit Solutions can help get your score to soar. VIP Credit Solutions.
For sale cleans and helps keep clothes looking newer longer. Get that new clothes feeling.
TikTok keeps trying to tell me that I have secretly wavy hair. I'm gonna prove them wrong. Oh my god, they're right. I started using custom hair care from Pros because I was starting.
This is instructions for American servicemen in Britain in 1942. If Britons sit in trains or buses without striking up a conversation with you, it doesn't mean they're being haughty and unfriendly. Probably they're paying you more attention than you think. But they don't speak to you because they don't want to appear intrusive or rude. Another difference. The British have phrases and colloquialisms of their own that may sound funny to you. Ominous, isn't it, with this thunder going? So, ominous things. It isn't a good idea to say bloody in mixed company in Britain. It's one of their very worst swear words. To say, I look like a bum, is offensive to their ears, because for the British, this means that you look like your own backside. That's a good thing, isn't it?
The British don't know how to make a good cup of coffee. That's very true. And you don't know how to make a good cup of tea. It's an even swap. Very true. Yes, fair enough. Yes, we'll meet in the middle on that.
Well, exactly, yeah. I think that kind of summarises the British-American relationship there, doesn't it, in the war. Do you think this would have been any use to you when you came over, the first time you came to Britain?
Yes, it's a must-read.
Yeah, you see the postcard? See the postcard?
Let's see. By the afternoon of day 3, we finally got the first signs of the coast pads.
They've got a similar story there with the line coming along, but just there it is. You've got the postcard. So that's the first one. We want to find a few more. That's good. Is there any spike in it or anything like that?
We haven't found a spike yet. No. They're all used probably damaged when it was knocked down. So.
Oh well, that's good. At least we've got one.
Great news. It's the first structural evidence in the ground of the Nissen hut which Forrest Gump was pictured in front of 80 years ago. We haven't found any post pads on the other side, but Richard has borrowed Matt's tent pegs to mark out where he's expecting them to run.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, you can go straight that way. We'll go that way.
Brilliant. Let's do that then. Right, peg in here. On the edges of. And typically it's not going here, is it? I'm bending. I'm ruining your pegs. Can you want to hit it with a mattock? And see if we know. I'll put the peg in after that. Close. Yeah, just bit the stuff off. Oh. Ah. Look at the trail. That will be right. It's not going anywhere. How about a circle? Oh, right. This looks suspiciously concrete. Oh, look, is that a reinforcement?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. Well, the chances of that. So that'd be right. It's not on our line, is it?
No.
So that is. It looks to me at the moment that that's in situ. That's a nicely laid. So maybe that does work quite well with your idea of a big drainage gully.
I see. So the corrugated sheet came down to here.
Yeah.
This was support on the inside.
Yeah, I think that's probably what we got.
Right. That's pretty class, isn't it? So we just need to kind of get round that.
Yes, and I'll find a new place to put them.
I love those back actually. Bend them all.
Yeah.
At last, we've got post pads on both sides of the hut, and those all-important finds are coming up all over the place.
Place those two together. What you have is a 30-aught rifle cartridge.
Right, these I recognise. These are the roof nails or roof screws up that held the corrugated iron down. What else is there?
We got this. These are called dogs. They're used for joining timbers together.
So that's off a Nissen hut as well.
Yep, definitely. Drain, which we're looking at, and these.
Span keys.
Span key.
Day 4 starts with Hild looking for one of the structures John identified on the geophys, which wasn't visible on the aerial photographs. And in the test pit, where we think the Red Cross hut stood, Ivan has spotted something of interest.
What you got? It looks very much like a beer bottle.
Look. Oh wow, well, wasn't this the recreation hut as well as the first aid place?
Beer and recreation?
Right, we'd be wonderful, wouldn't it? Be careful with it.
Looking less like a beer bottle. Here we go. There's liquid in it as well. And the stopper's on the top. So could it be some kind of medicine instead of liniment or something?
Possibly, isn't it?
But the stopper's still in as well.
And I think it's probably best if we leave it that way. Do you ever actually shout?
A complete bottle though that's been in the ground for 70, nearly 80 years.
So this bottle may have held some medicine used to treat the soldiers in the Red Cross hut. While the team continues, Matt has been retracing the steps of perhaps the most famous member of Easy Company, Captain Dick Winters.
So, John, we're sitting on this bench here overlooking the churchyard in Oldbourne, and it's a very special bench.
It is a special bench. It's a special bench to the memory of Dick Winters, Lieutenant Winters. It was his favourite place in the village. He would often come here whenever he wanted quiet. On the first morning when he came up the path here from past the church, he came across a couple who were tending a obviously new grave. The grave was that of their son Leonard, who was an aircraftsman in the RAF, and he had been killed in a raid. They had buried him a few months before.
Sup, buddy?
And they came every morning to tend his grave and to sit here and remember him. They got talking and talking more deeply, and basically within an hour or so, that morning struck up a very deep friendship. But Winters fitted in just perfectly. He became a member of the family. He became a real member of the family, almost to the extent of being a surrogate for Leonard.
There were other close relationships forged with the villagers. Lieutenant Ronald Spears married Margaret Griffiths. And pictured in one of the wedding photos is Lieutenant Buck Compton, whose name we found carved into a tree. Two brothers who lived here in 1943 have affectionate memories of the soldiers and the camp.
Colin,
yes.
David, you were young boys, about 7,
Yes.
when Easy Company came to this field. Tell us what it was like when they arrived.
I remember all their manoeuvres and everything going on. I used to stand down the end of the drive just up the road in our house and watch them march up and down Southern Lane, go off to their manoeuvres up in the woods and things. And they'd come marching by and chop sticks of chewing gum to me. And yes, it was for a young lad of 6 and 7, it was marvellous to see all this lot going on.
It sounds like a really, really busy time. The village must have really changed. But then, of course, suddenly they all disappeared.
And my cousin of mine, Peter, who's the same age as me, used to come and stay, and we loved scouring all around, finding all these things that were being discarded. And
Hey, babe, can I hit your pen?
on the day that they all left for D-Day, we heard lots of goings on in the night.
Do you want to smoke with me?
And we walked down in the morning, walked down the road here, came into the camp, and everything was just left open. It just said people just walked straight out. Everything was just left there, and there was live ammunition left on one of the tables, and the hut was just up there.
Do you think you actually went into any of these huts then that we've been?
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So tell us a bit about Switzy here, this little monkey.
Yes, well, as I said, he was given to me in 36.
Jubilee present, and he had a proper. He was a proper chimpanzee. He didn't have clothes or anything. He was probably all with long
Sorry.
hair and everything. But later on, he got these clothes, and the photograph came at the same time. He had the jersey, so Easy Company gave Mother that, and the airborne badge there, sewn on, and they've been there ever since.
Hume's test kit, somewhat disappointingly, only produced a few tent pegs and nothing structural beyond the tent bases visible on the aerial photos.
Yeah, you'll get there. Just don't get discouraged, bro. Just keep posting. You gotta ask people to subscribe and stuff. And you gotta post like every day. And, you know, reply to the comments and like and all that shit, you know? I hope that helped you out about the fucking Google Studio thing I was talking about. It takes a few days for the system to go through, you know?
Well, you never know. We'll be excavating through there, so you never know. We might find some evidence.
Pretty tasty.
And then the roof sheets.
That's a nail with a water at the top because it's corrugated iron.
Yes.
That corresponds to the curve. That's that. Have you found any more of those, or was it just that one?
Loads of them, loads of them. Obviously, when they knocked it down, they just ripped them out, threw them on the ground, and they went into this ditch.
Great. So we can follow that wall, get the rest of the pads. Same on the other side.
I wonder what's in the bushes, honey. Right?
Yeah, hopefully the back. And the one thing we're not sure, what should we do with the centre? The geophysical survey had a really strong reading in the middle, and when the veterans talked about these huts, there were 16 people in these, 8 bunk beds, and the way they kept warm was a pot-bellied stove. Wouldn't that be nice if you had a pot-bellied stove in the middle?
Oh.
Reading.
Yeah.
And some of the finds connect us directly to the smart young soldiers who made Aldbourne their home.
That's cool.
We've also continued the metal detecting grid across the sports pitches, and the last grid of the
That's
day
what's up.
turned up a lot of elements of Americana, and I think the key thing was this rather lovely button.
Wow, that is beautiful.
It's a high quality
You can see
button.
the American Eagle on it. It's a dress button. It's got the writing of the manufacturers on the back, and that symbol appears.
Does this say Vuitton?
Presidential speech today, and as such, I think that's a really lovely find. It shows our American soldiers in this field. It'll clean up well, and it'll be a lovely find for the local museum.
Yeah, that's an absolute star find and some great results today. I think we've earned a drink in the pub.
I think we totally have. I think we should do that right now.
Let's go.
The pubs in Aldbourne proved popular destinations for the men. The officers tried to reserve the Blue Boar for themselves, but according to Webster, neither the men nor the landlords were happy with this arrangement.
It caused us to regard the imposition as a challenge and try to sneak in wherever we could, via the back door when the premises was occupied, or the front door when the coast was clear. Mr. Davy always welcomed us heartily. I believe he had been an enlisted man in the other war, and always managed to save us a beer or a milk stout. Cheers!
Half of them were already halfway through their beers. Do you see that?
The half basement of the Crown Pub was taken over as the company command post.
Yeah,
Officially
that's
the
what that is.
liveliest spot in town.
From
But the day
the 101st Airborne Division
Third,
from Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
This room here was where Dick Winters stayed when he was billeted with the Barnes family along with his friend Harry Wells. Now while they were here, all the soldiers loved the lardy cake which they made in the village, but the best lardy cake came from here. And I'm going to pop inside, grab some, take it back to site.
Bro, I love this fucking swag that they got.
the lardy cake when
Swag? Is that what they call it? Swag or swag?
the English winter.
Lardy cake is a heavy, sticky, coffee ring-like pastry that is very filling and far more appetizing than its name would imply. I'd hide it under my field jacket and smuggle it into camp for future reference.
With the larder cake safely stowed for later, Matt finds work continuing unabated.
Well, I thought that rain would stop playing, but I've clearly underestimated your team.
No, these are hardy military folk, Matt. These are reveling in it. This is good training weather. This is, and yeah, they're really keen to keep on. And I think that's a good reflection of how actually exciting this trench is.
So what can you do when it's raining like this?
I think you've got to keep movements to a minimum because you can make a real mess, and also it's slippy, so it could be a bit dangerous. I think what we're trying to do is just expose to the level of the post pads, get the sections cleaned, and then hopefully when it stops raining, we'll be able to trowel it back and get that nice flat clean layer.
Right, so it's all systems go in this trench.
It really is, yeah, it really is. I want to resolve this as soon as possible, and then we can start finding things inside.
That'd be cool.
Well, I would offer to help. I think we need some help on the finding.
That'd be pretty sick.
Thank you.
Oh, that's iron.
Yeah, it's iron.
By no means an expert, part of the structure of the building, I suspect. But we'll give it a good clean and we'll find out. But yeah, nice. Great to find.
I'm U.S. Army. We have people here from the Navy and the Air Force. Being that this is Easy Company, I mean, me being a history fan, me and Mike, the other one who organized all of this, we just volunteered. We wanted to be out. We wanted to show face, and we can't just step past, you know, band of brothers kind of things. And I was telling people the other day, I went to the cemetery right next to Cambridge, and I actually found a really distant cousin of mine, unfortunately on the wall of the lost, not in the graveyard itself, but it was very nice to be able to commemorate, especially a member of our family over here.
Despite the mud and all the rest of it, I just dragged out literally 5 minutes ago what looks like a spanner,
Nice.
and it probably is a spanner, and maybe it was one of the spanners that was used to build the huts that we're now stood on. So that's a nice little story. And when we clean it up, maybe we'll even find a maker's name on there.
Last week I was in Normandy for a battle staff ride, so I got to see all the
sorry.
of D-Day, and I got to go to all the battlefields and the bunkers and where all the
bonkers?
were. So that was kind of cool. So I'm getting a big loop of everything that has to do with the 101.
So what do you think you've gained from your work over the last few days?
A whole lot of knowledge. I think that's the biggest thing that I've found is a methodology, getting to work with Richard Osgood, the team, time team. It's been great. I've learned basically how to handle yourself out here, what to do, what not to do, how to mark things down, how to document everything. It's been a tremendous learning experience. I can't wait to do it again. So I walked down the street the other day and I was talking to someone about the project, and they actually got to meet Dick Winters, and twice in the early 2000s. And so we talked about that for a good half hour.
You're right, Pat. What have you got there?
So I've got a pocket knife.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, definitely a pocket knife.
Just like,